Paris isn't just the city of lights, it's the city of dynasties. Behind its grand boulevards and luxury boutiques lie families whose fortunes have shaped not only France, but the world. From the Schlumbergers, who powered global energy, to the Seydoux clan, who turned cinema into culture, and the Peugeots, who put France on wheels. These dynasties are the foundation of Parisian wealth. The Bouygues family built its skyline, while the Ricards turned French spirits into an international empire. At the top, giants like the Arnaults, Pinaults, Dassauts, Rothschilds, and Bettencourts rule industries spanning fashion, finance, aviation, and beauty. Each family carries a story of innovation, legacy, and influence. Stay tuned as we reveal the top 10 richest old money families in Paris. In the number 10 position, we have the Schlumberger family, a dynasty whose name is tied to one of the most important industries in the world: energy. Founded by the Schlumberger brothers in the early 20th century, their company revolutionized oilfield services, becoming a global leader in technology that helps unlock energy from beneath the earth. While their business spanned continents, the family's roots and influence remain firmly anchored in Paris. Over generations, their wealth extended beyond oil into investments, art, and philanthropy, making them cultural patrons as much as industrialists. What makes the Schlumberger story captivating is how a single innovation grew into a multi-billion-dollar empire that touched every corner of the energy sector. Yet, unlike flashier dynasties, they've maintained a low profile, letting their legacy of innovation speak louder than headlines. And while their fortune is vast, the families ahead command empires that define Parisian wealth on an even grander scale. In the number 9 position, we have the Seydoux family, a dynasty that blends wealth with culture, leaving a mark on France's entertainment industry. Best known for their deep ties to Gaumont, one of the oldest film studios in the world, the Seydoux family turned cinema into both an art form and a business empire. Their influence extends beyond movie sets. Investments in media, finance, and real estate have kept their fortune strong across generations. The family's cultural reach is also global, with Léa Seydoux, the acclaimed actress, carrying the name into Hollywood and beyond. What makes their story so fascinating is how they used art not just for prestige, but as a foundation for dynastic wealth. In Paris, they are proof that old money can reinvent itself through creativity. Yet the families ahead control empires so vast, they've transformed industries central to France's global identity. In the number 8 position, we have the Peugeot family, one of France's most enduring industrial dynasties. Long before Paris became a hub of luxury brands, the Peugeots were already building machines that changed everyday life. What began with tools and coffee grinders in the 19th century evolved into Peugeot automobiles, cars that became icons on French roads and beyond. Their family business grew into one of Europe's most successful car manufacturers, creating generations of wealth that carried them into the ranks of Paris's old money elite. Even after merging with Fiat Chrysler to form Stellantis, the Peugeot family remains an influential shareholder, ensuring their legacy continues in the global auto industry. What makes their story so intriguing is their ability to adapt, from humble crafts to global cars, proving innovation can sustain dynasties. But the families still ahead control fortunes built not just on industry, but on culture, luxury, and power. In the number 7 position, we have the Bouygues family, a dynasty that literally built much of modern France. Starting in construction, they turned their company into one of Europe's largest, shaping Paris with highways, bridges, and skyscrapers. But their ambitions didn't stop with concrete and steel. They expanded into telecommunications and media, acquiring TF1, France's most watched television channel. This move gave the family not only financial power, but also cultural influence, reaching millions of households daily. The Bouygues name became synonymous with progress, innovation, and control over both infrastructure and information. What makes their journey remarkable is how they bridge two worlds, the physical transformation of cities and the digital transformation of communication. Their wealth is not just measured in billions, but in the very structures and stories that define France. Yet the dynasties that follow go beyond building. They dominate luxury, legacy, and global recognition on an even greater scale. In the number 6 position, we have the Ricard family, the dynasty behind one of the world's greatest beverage empires, Pernod Ricard. Founded in Marseille but rooted deeply in Paris, their empire began with pastis, a French aperitif that became a national favorite. Over time, they grew into a global powerhouse, owning brands like Absolute Vodka, Jameson Whiskey, and Chivas Regal. What makes the Ricard family's fortune fascinating is how they turned the simple ritual of drinking into a multi-billion-dollar legacy that now spans more than 150 countries. Beyond wealth, the family has cultivated influence in French lifestyle and culture, making their brand part of everyday social life. Their story shows how tradition and clever marketing can transform a family name into a global luxury symbol. But while the Ricards command a powerful empire, the families ahead dominate industries that shape not just culture, but the very identity of Paris itself. In the number 5 position, we have the Arnault family, the dynasty behind LVMH, the world's largest luxury goods empire. Bernard Arnault may be the face of this fortune, but the family's influence stretches across generations, with heirs taking leading roles in brands like Louis Vuitton, Dior, and Sephora. What makes the Arnauts so extraordinary is how they turned French elegance into a global monopoly of luxury. From champagne and handbags to high fashion and jewelry, their portfolio represents the very best of Paris. While Bernard is often in the spotlight as one of the richest men alive, the dynasty as a whole has positioned itself as the guardian of French luxury heritage. Their story is one of bold acquisitions, artistic vision, and relentless expansion. Yet despite their towering wealth, there are still families ahead whose fortunes are tied not only to luxury, but also to politics, aviation, and deep-rooted legacy. In the number 4 position, we have the Pinault family, the powerhouse behind Kering, one of the world's top luxury conglomerates. Starting from humble roots in timber trading, François Pinault transformed his fortune into a global fashion empire that rivals even the Arnauts. Through Kering, the family controls some of the most prestigious brands in the world: Gucci, Balenciaga, Saint Laurent, and Alexander McQueen. But their wealth isn't limited to fashion. The Pinauts are also known for their world-class art collection, showcased in their Paris museums, cementing their role as cultural tastemakers. What makes their story so captivating is the leap from modest beginnings to commanding the center stage of Parisian luxury and art. The Pinault family has proven that vision and bold risks can create dynasties. Yet as powerful as they are, the families ahead have empires rooted not just in fashion, but in aviation, politics, and centuries-old influence. In the number 3 position, we have the Dassault family, a dynasty whose wealth takes flight, literally. At the heart of their empire is Dassault Aviation, the company behind legendary aircraft like the Mirage and Rafale jets, symbols of French engineering excellence. But their influence doesn't end in aerospace. The Dassaults extended their reach into media by owning Le Figaro, one of France's most respected newspapers, and have held significant political power in Paris for decades. Their fortune is a unique mix of cutting-edge technology, public influence, and old money stability. What makes their story fascinating is how they build an empire that secures both France's skies and its voice, blending national defense with cultural presence. The Dassault family embodies the fusion of industry and politics. Yet even with their dominance, the dynasties ahead, rooted in banking, cosmetics, and centuries of legacy, hold fortunes that define the very identity of Parisian wealth. In the number 2 position, we have the Rothschild family, one of the most legendary banking dynasties in history. With roots stretching back to the 18th century, the Rothschilds established themselves in Paris as masters of finance, shaping economies not only in France but across Europe. Their name is synonymous with old money influence, tied to investments in railways, wine estates, and global banking institutions. In Paris, the Rothschild legacy can be seen in both their financial empire and their cultural contributions, from art patronage to philanthropy. What makes their story so powerful is their ability to maintain wealth and influence for centuries, weathering wars, revolutions, and changing markets. The Rothschilds are more than just a family. They are a symbol of enduring financial power. Yet even their historic dynasty is surpassed in Paris by one family whose modern empire towers above all others in sheer wealth and global reach. In the number 1 position, we have the Bettencourt family, the dynasty behind L'Oréal, the world's largest cosmetics company. Their story began with Eugène Schuller, who founded L'Oréal in the early 20th century, but it was his daughter Liliane Bettencourt who carried the family into the global spotlight. Today, her heirs continue to control a massive stake in the company, making the Bettencourts the wealthiest old money family in Paris. Their empire stretches far beyond beauty products. L'Oréal is a global powerhouse with brands sold in over 150 countries, shaping fashion, luxury, and everyday life. What makes their legacy so fascinating is how a single innovation in hair dye grew into a fortune worth tens of billions. The Bettencourt family represents the pinnacle of Parisian wealth, a dynasty built on beauty, influence, and enduring power. They are the crown jewel of France's old money elite, standing above all others.